Joining us this morning, of course, County Commissioner Dan Claypool. It's been a while, Dan. I haven't seen you for a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
We've been busy.
I noticed that you read up on you guys in the paper all the time, and it looks like you've been pretty busy. Something going on at ATEC. What's that all about?
Really, it's working with the manufacturers. One of the problems that we have in workforce development is training, job training, and job training that is current for today's manufacturing. So with the work of that business service representative, Hattie Groupie, and ATEC, and a group of manufacturers, and I would say over a dozen, they all got together and they created a curriculum for manufacturing maintenance and production. They were able to go to the ARC and they were awarded a grant to buy the pneumatics and electronics and everything. And so they've actually created a curriculum now for local manufacturers and in the field of maintenance. And yes,
That'll start next year then?
No, they're actually using it right now.
Oh, they're using it right now?
Yeah, they're actually using it right now. So, but it's a great deal because one of the problems that we have is finding the workers that are trained in the field of manufacturing, because technology, technology drives everything.
Sure.
And it's a problem keeping up, even for workers that are currently employed in today's field. So this is just a wonderful program where these people can get training right here in county.
Dan, I was doing an interview with John Patterson for state rep, and this is about a month ago, and I said, I am completely not in favor of computers and technology and all that stuff. He goes, wait a minute. You can't have that attitude this day and age. You have to learn it. I don't care how old you are or whatever. You need to know it or you're going to be lost in the highway here.
It's true.
Yeah. We were in a high school, because we take our county commissioners meetings into a high school once a year and talk to the groups about different things. And it's sort of amazing, but that group of graduates that were before us, we talked to them, and they never lived in an era that there wasn't the internet. Now think about that.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Never lived in an era without the internet.
Oh wow, that is amazing.
Wow.
So here we have graduates coming out, and we talk to them about technology, and we talk to them about different things. Here these graduates have lived on the internet their entire life.
Yeah.
So it's just tough to keep up, and that's what drives everything today is technology.
Yes.
Change in technology, whether people believe that's good or not. It's a wagon you got to get on, or you're going to just be left behind.
That's true.
So,
And I've said this before. Back in '66, when I graduated, they were telling us in school, learn computers. That's the thing of the future. We laughed at them.
Absolutely.
And that was, what, 40-some years ago?
Yeah.
Almost 50 years ago.
Yeah. Who would have ever thought by a watch you would get your emails and you would get your you looked, remember that show, that Maxwell Smart Show?
Yes.
You get your phone calls and your emails and everything right here.
It's amazing.
Technology is amazing.
Yeah.
You do have one of those.
Yes, I do have one. My son, to be quite honest with you.
Nick?
Yes, that's a hand-me-down.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's actually, see, it tells me I need to be on this show right now.
Nick used to work here, so I know him really well, and he used to help us get through the shows a lot of times. A technical wizard with that stuff. And that's a hand-me-down?
Yeah, this is a hand-me-down. Because this is old technology, believe it or not. For my son, this is old technology.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we've come a long way. We really have. Also, I wanted to mention too, I see Molded Fiberglass had an event the other day, and I got a kick out of it because I saw a bunch of pictures of Corvettes, which are my favorite car, and they have a big hand in making Corvettes, and have for years.
It's sort of amazing too, because the story was told at the time we were there about how they got into this business and how they actually just started creating one part for a Corvette. But they had a Corvette body there on a rack, and they showed how many parts they actually make for the new Corvette. And there are a number of parts that they actually make for this new Corvette. So it isn't one, but they won a industry award for being the best. And what a nice award, but what a bunch of nice cars they had there too. I really commend the Morrisons and Molded Fiberglass, the whole staff that does this.
See, I always thought, Danny, that they just did the body. They do more than that.
all the parts for the body.
All the parts
Yeah.
for the body.
None of the metal things, all the fiberglass parts, but the floorboards, the inner panels, things
Really?
like that, they create right there. So it's
Yeah.
really what a nice thing to have for us, and to make the Corvette no less. And
Sure.
I really had an
In
opportunity.
Ashtabula County. That's
Yes.
that's a feather in our cap.
Yes, and,
Sure
and they
is.
advertise they have 50 jobs available. 50 jobs available.
Really?
Yes, they're gonna have a job fair, and that's what we keep saying.
And you know what? I'm hearing we have a couple plants here that are willing to hire too.
Uh-huh.
They've got signs around town.
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, go if you're in need of work. What more can you say about that? I mean, you got a chance to go to work. They're asking you to come to them. Do it.
Our unemployment rate is down at around 5.2 right now. You know, it fluctuates 5.2, 5.3. It's really a good number for us. You know, I
It's not
remember
bad.
the days that I sat before you and our unemployment rate was double digits. So
Right.
we have come a long way in Ashtabula County. But the story of no jobs, I think that's getting to be a weak argument. We have job training. We've worked very, very hard to get training available for the people, for the jobs that are available today. And I think we're making a lot of progress. So I would recommend anybody that has a challenge, has a need, wants a job, go down to that Ohio Means Job Center on Lake Avenue and see if those people can help you.
I heard, Danny, and I think you and I may have talked about this before. One of the problems that companies are facing is people are not coming to apply for work because the drug test is standing in the way.
I
Yeah,
don't
how
know.
much is
still
that? How
prominent?
much is that? Of
I don't know. Some would tell you, that is true. That most factories, because of their insurance, because of the standards today, the high standards in manufacturing, for those people that want to work in that industry, there has to be drug tests. But if you get into these other professions, such as a plumber, or an electrician, or a builder, or a heavy equipment operator, there are a number of jobs available in those areas. Just go try and find a good plumber. Seriously, really, they're out there, but there is a market for more plumbers or more electricians. So I would just suggest people, especially young people that want to get into those different fields. I've always said this, not everybody is cut out to go to college,
Right.
but everybody needs a skill today. Everybody needs a skill.
I remember you did a whole show practically on the fact that these young people today need to step up and get their technology needs met and get the education, because you're not going to make it out there if you don't have that education.
Right.
I mean,
Well, we're lucky to have ATEC in this
yeah.
county.
What
And
a
my
joy.
question is, for all those, and I was just reading other graduates in the various different fields, how many of these young men and women are getting jobs? Do you know? Is there a record on this?
There is,
Are
and
they
I
being
don't-
successful?
Absolutely, they are.
Well, that's good.
Absolutely.
That's
These
nice.
people are, a lot of their graduates have jobs before they ever leave
Really?
graduation.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
I heard
and they
that.
work.
Okay.
They work.
That's
my
good.
wife went to, back then it was called VOED.
Right.
After she graduated, she was working and she went there after hours to take up business. And she goes, Pat, you wouldn't believe how much I learned from that. And she uses that in her household with handling the books and all that sort of stuff. And she is a big supporter of ATEC, yeah.
Oh yeah, there's as many classes going out there in the evening
Yes.
for adult
Right.
Right.
workers who need to update their skills or get new skills, as there is. So just a wonderful program. What a jewel we have for our county.
It is. It really
Again,
is.
I suggest that people take advantage of it.
Absolutely. Danny, what about the county business here?
Solid waste. Let's talk a little bit.
Solid waste?
Solid waste. Last time I was here, a lot of people had questions about solid waste.
Yeah.
I told you we were moving forward, and we did, and we are. One of the big things that we are doing is we're helping the city of Ashtabula in building a transfer station,
Right.
because one of the problems that we have with recyclables is we have no place to take them.
Right.
So we're helping the city of Ashtabula. That's going to move them into this curbside recycling. That's one of the things that we need to do in our solid waste plan is move. I think we have to touch like 90% of the people in this. So we're going to move the city of Ashtabula, largest concentrated population in the county, help them with that. So we are moving forward with that. So they're out for bid for this recycling or for the transfer station. So that's a big move forward in moving this program.
One of the big questions I get, Dan, and I think you covered it last time you were here, but I'd kind of like to get an update on it. Where are we at with these dumpsters that we were supposed to get?
Well, see, that's all part of this. That's only one part of this whole plan.
Right.
The main drive on this thing is curbside recycling. The more people that we could to get in curbside recycling, the better. You know, the easier this plan is going to be and the least expensive. One of the things we tried is to concentrate different entities that maybe wouldn't do this on their own, but different municipalities or villages, and get them to cluster. That wasn't very successful. I can tell you there's not a lot of interest there. So we have to take a different route. You know, we tried, we thought we could reach our goals by clustering some of these communities, but we just don't see the drive out there. So we'll come back. But we're going to have some drop-off stations, but they're our least favorite, or at least my least favorite thing to have, because they're so hard to control.
I know.
And it's just,
We've
they're
had
so
trouble
costly.
here.
Well, they're problematic everywhere.
So basically, let's pinpoint Conneaut. So apparently right now, we're not going to be having those coming in, those dumpsters.
Not for a while.
Containers.
Not for a while. We're working on it, but not for a while. Our main thrust right now will be to get this transfer station so we'll have a place to take it.
Okay.
So we don't have the transportation costs of taking it outside or just picking it up and taking it to the dump.
Right.
It'll be really recyclable.
Do you not start your budget in July?
No, we really don't. We start reviewing and catching everything up. Everything seems okay for us. You know, right now everybody's doing well. You know, and so we.
Did I read something that you're helping the sheriff's department out?
Well, really, we're helping the county safety forces for what we believe is, and it's again a first step in a process that we have going on. We want to centralize communications in the county, public safety communications.
Okay.
So our first step, rather than because we don't actually have a place to do it now, I think we've pretty well decided where we want to take it and where we want to go with it, but is to put the computer equipment in all the public safety cars and vehicles so they can talk together, they can communicate. And we're in the process of doing that right now. The city of Conneaut, all the cities are on board, all the townships are on board, so we are actually executing contracts and they're in the installation stage as we talk.
Really?
So what they'll be able to do is when a 911 call comes in, everybody in the county will be able to communicate on that. So if the sheriff is working a robbery call or a call somewhere outside of that jurisdiction, the city of Conneaut patrolmen will know that real time what's going on with that call.
Well, it's come a long way.
You know,
Yes, they should. That's great.
They'll be able to communicate within their cars.
Wow.
You know, they without their radios. You know.
You know, you couldn't have pictured that back when you were a sheriff.
Never,
deputy.
ever, no.
No, I mean it's amazing. I've watched this thing since '68 when I first started out in the business, and it was like it has changed so much. I mean, I remember the days, Danny, when the Conneaut Police Department didn't even have cameras to record suicides or whatever. I used to take the pictures on the side.
Yeah, it was the newspapers. Yeah.
The dispatchers will actually be able to see the vehicles in the county where they're at as they move around the county, so they'll be able to send the closest available.
Wow.
You know, they'll be able to communicate directly by computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing what the technology is. You know,
There you go. Technology and computers.
There are places that within the fire truck of itself, as they go down the street and they pass a fire hydrant, they'll be able to identify the hydrant. They'll be able to tell how much pressure that fire hydrant is running, any maintenance that is done on it, whether it's a good hydrant or a bad hydrant. It's just amazing what you can do with this.
Unbelievable.
So,
Go ahead, Steve.
Dan, I have a question. What's going on with the youth development in the county?
pretty exciting. It's ready to be kicked off again. It's through the ATEC and through the Job Center. But it's they're going to place about 200 youths.
200?
Yes, 18 to 22.
What do you mean place? I mean,
they have openings throughout the county where they place and then they monitor these.
For 200 people?
Yes, for
200
200
job
people.
openings.
Holy
That's
mackerel.
tremendous.
That's a lot.
Yes, 18 to 22. So if somebody in the summer is looking for a job, it goes through now through October. I would suggest that they get right down to that job center and they look at that.
Wow. That's
and
amazing.
we were talking at the break, but one of the things that are really interesting, and we talked about technology and everything that's doing, but one of the things that ATEC is bringing back in this program is, in this series, they're going to actually require that these youths open a checking account.
Oh, wow, that's
and learn how to manage a checking account.
That's important.
Well, it is, and
that is important.
they'll have to be direct deposit. They're going to teach them how to budget their money once they get it. You know, on Friday you're going to get this money, but it's going to be in your account. But you need to budget, and that you need to manage your check account. You need to. So I think that's just a skill that we take for granted.
I was just going to say, we take that for granted. That's
Well, you
just
know,
a given.
I don't know about you, Steve,
Yeah.
but my wife handles all the books, right?
Mm-hmm.
And all the bills and all that stuff. If anything should happen to her, I'm in bad shape because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to do a lot of that stuff. And I should. You know, I really, really should.
Yeah, it should be a
So,
mutual.
teaching these kids about having a checking account and all the things you got to do with that checking account to make it solid all the time is important, and I think that's a good thing.
Oh,
Well, we're in an era now where you stick a plastic card in a machine and money comes out and it's like, oh my God. You know, but if you
That's
don't know the
true.
background of that and how to manage that money,
Right.
you know, it really is something that, at least in our era, you know, while we were being brought up, it was just, you know, we had a class like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, where you had to balance a checkbook and they taught you
Yeah.
those skills. So I'm sort of glad to see that we have people that are still maintaining that basic thing that we just assume is taught.
well, young people don't even know how to make change anymore.
No.
It's done for them in all the stores.
Oh, the cash register does.
That's the trade-off for technology, you know, and
Right.
a lot of them don't know how to make change.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
That's very true.
So as
That's a
we
great-
move
that's a
ahead,
great
yeah, as
program.
we move ahead,
That's a great program.
but again, I don't still want to dwell on jobs and work and things, but there are those things available. This is the time of
That's
year. They're going to be filling those 200 positions, so if somebody wants to be involved in that, 18 to 22, there is an income level, you know, but
What about the county? Did they have any openings for part-time work or something?
we just filled 2, yes.
Did ya?
Yeah, in our water and sewer. And to be honest with you, we have a difficult time doing that. But water and sewer, summer, they cut grass, they paint, they do those kind of maintenance things, you know. But we do that. But that's got to be at least 18 years old because
Oh,
they
yeah.
drive equipment for us. And,
Right.
Yep.
but yeah, the county, you know, really people should check the website because there are jobs that are available, you know, throughout, you know, time to time. There's always a job, seems like that's available.
What about the commissioners and this apparent war on drugs that seems to be enveloping the entire county? I mean, not just Ashtabula, but Conneaut has had a problem.
Yeah, and it's just not us, it's nationwide.
yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
This is just a nationwide problem that we're having to deal with, and because of the times we live in, drugs have just become so prevalent, and it's just something that we're going to deal with, and it just causes such a strain on services. You know, and it just from your law enforcement to your jail to your courts to your prosecutor to your administrative staff that have to take care of all that paperwork that's created, it just causes a drain on those services. Everybody is working to try and solve that problem. You know what I mean? Or at least work with that problem. And I feel so bad for the people that get caught up in it because it's different. You know, I knock on wood, I'm really lucky. My kids never made that choice to go down
Right.
the road. But you know, in this day and age, you know, when we were younger, if we drank or something, you know, we got a second chance. You know what I mean? In this drugs, they take that heroin one time. There's no second chance. They're hooked right then, right there,
right.
and they've just changed their whole life.
Right.
And we need to find a solution, and we're working with our elected officials right now to try and create a dialogue to maximize the use of the services that we have. To improve the efficiency of it, but it's just a problem that we're going to have
Of course,
to deal
going
with.
back to what you had said earlier about the patrol cars being better equipped technology-wise, that's got to help.
It does, but it doesn't help in the real root of the problem of people taking these drugs.
Yeah.
The problem out there is there's just one word that creates this whole scenario, and it's greed. It's just, you know, it's a business, you know, that you sell these drugs and, you know, it starts and there are just billions of dollars available in that. And these people today, are willing to kill over that.
Well, we had
see
an
that day in
incident.
and day out.
We had an incident 2 days ago. Steve's well aware of this on Creek Road, where it's a detour for the bridge, and this guy showed up in dreadlocks and walked up to a lady, an elderly lady, and asked for directions. Her husband was mowing the lawn. He comes in the garage with her to help, see if he could help out, and the guy tasers him or hits him with a stun gun, and the elderly man, 74 years old, fought with him, had to fight the guy, and he finally left. I mean, probably looking for drugs. I mean, it's scary. And I got a lot of people emailing me and saying, you know, this is scary to have that happen in our town. Well, it's there, unfortunately, and you got to keep your doors locked in cars and your houses. And as a former law enforcement officer, I'm sure you agree that you can't take anything for granted anymore.
No, it's just the age that we live in today.
Dan, is there a prevention program going on in the county with our high schools, working in conjunction with the high schools?
There is, you know,
talking about this problem?
the school resources officers, you know, I don't know which ones do or which ones don't, but there's a lot of focus on drug education, things like that. And like I said, it's just, they're so readily available. You know, our society is a drug-related society. You know, we are trained from from when we're young to we're old. If we have a problem, take a pill.
Yep.
You know,
It's true.
and it's going to make you feel better. You know, but it's just it's so sad that we have these illicit drugs and these illegal drugs that have been now turned into a weapon where people make money by these things. You know, this is like I said, billions of dollars at stake. And they have just flooded the market with now this heroin, something that I never saw in my whole career as a law enforcement officer. I never saw heroin. I didn't even know what it looked like, and they say it's so common out there today on the street.
I know.
Yeah, when you were working in,
Probably
even when we grew
marijuana.
up,
Marijuana was.
Marijuana was the thing. That,
heroin was like a big city deal,
absolutely.
New York City, and
Yeah.
now it's so
it
prevalent
was
in
in
our
the
county.
trenches.
Yeah.
But it just changes a person's life. It really does, you know, and it touches not just one class of people. It touches every point of our society, and it just changes people's lives. I watch these people in these drug court graduations, and you see the families that come in to support these people that are using these drugs. And like I said, it isn't the low income people that you think that, you know, that are always classed into this.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people involved in this, and it touches every class. I bet you there isn't one of us that can go out to say we don't know a family that hasn't been touched by this drug.
I agree with
I'm
you.
guessing, Dan, that for every heroin addict in this case, it probably affects at the very minimum 100 people. When you consider family and co-workers.
Well, I think you might have been here when Billy Johnson come in, the sheriff, and showed us pictures of people and how they were disintegrating right before your eyes, losing their teeth, looking like they're 100 years old when they were only like in their 20s. I mean, it was amazing, Dan.
Yes.
And they'll do anything. And,
Right.
And they will do anything to
that's
get these drugs.
That's the scary part.
Yeah, that is the scary part.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it before. Is throw them in jail. You know, get these guys off the street. You're not going to arrest your way out of this problem. This problem is not. You know, there are certain people that need to go to jail on this.
Oh, sure.
But if that was the path that we're going to take, you're going to be taking care of these people for the rest of their lives. Because when you put somebody in the prison system, believe it or not, you know, it changes their life path forever. So when you take a young person and you believe that jail is the only answer and you put them in jail, you have now changed their life forever. That's why I commend this drug court and the things that they're doing. You know, if they go through this program, and it's over a year program where they go in and they work with the court, they work with the probation, they work with that. If they come up clean and they're doing everything they're supposed to, those drug charges go away. So it didn't change their life. But the problem is we can't touch, it doesn't seem like we can touch the large majority that we need to.
Dan, I'm getting reports, and I'm hoping it's true. I understand that the lodge is doing pretty well.
Oh, the lodge is doing great, really.
Is it?
Yes, it really is. You know, it's sold out. I mean, that's how great it is.
It is? It's
yes,
sold.
yes.
Wow. Well, that's
you
good.
know, from May now until the end of the year, you probably, or till October, you will have a difficult time finding, at least on the weekends, any rooms. In May through September, you'll have a hard time finding rooms even in the week time.
Wow.
There's things that we're
That's
doing
good.
down there that, you know, we're at a point, it's 10 years old, where we're talking about doing some renovations. We're in the midst, who would think that we're going to renew the contract for management? You know, we're already that far down.
Wow.
And one thing that I talked about, and I really, there was always this myth that at the end of the lease, you had to give the lodge back to the state. And I'm really glad to say that. I just met with the state here not too long ago, and we talked about, as we renew our lease, or our management contract, we need to lengthen this contract for the lodge. So it seems like a long time, but there's only 15 years left on that lease. And they were just completely open to the idea, and they said, just bring us what you want, and we'll be more than happy to sit down and talk to you about it. Because I'd like to see us extended another 15 years.
Yeah.
Because we have some people that want to make some private investment down in and around that area.
I wish we could get that here.
Well, we have a really good company that wants to make a huge investment down in and around that lodge, and but before they do that, they want to see that this thing is going to be on track for a long time, so they can recoup their money. So, but I was so glad to hear the state say we're into this, public-private partnership. We would be very open to it, so there isn't this closed door that at the end of this lease period that we have to give this lodge back. I think that this lodge is going to be here as long as the commissioners want to operate it. Really
Good.
And it'll be up to whoever's there to be good stewards of it and take care of it. And
Sure.
I don't know whether this falls under your category as commissioner or not, but I see Mark Mitchell has left the Visitors Bureau. Have they appointed a person to take over for him?
No.
Okay.
Not that I'm aware of. And
I haven't seen it.
I would, to be honest with you, I sit on this 503 board.
Okay.
We are Mark. We just hired Mark. And 503 board, the 503 Corporation is an organization that works with businesses to maybe a higher risk business that can't get all the money they need to operate from the bank. So we get ourselves involved in these higher risk loans. So it's been very successful. The commissioners that set that up years and years ago, it's been a great thing. We have over $2 million loaned out to local businesses. And what our goal with Mark is to work more in small business development. I mean, it's an area that there is sort of, there's some room there. Growth Partnership works on some of the larger deals, but we're looking for that, under 20 and under employees. We think there's a lot of room there for business development, and anybody that knows Mark knows what a salesman he was and how much energy he has. So we're really excited about Mark and employing him at 503 and opening that door where we can do more work in entrepreneurship and starting startups of small business and helping small business grow.
I've interviewed that boy so many times, and I said, Mark, are you this energetic when you go home after work? And he goes, not really. He goes, I'm really kind of quiet.
Well, I'm really glad he's energetic here, because we think that he's going to instill a lot lot in this development of small business.
Good.
And so we have Sean Radican at our port, which we're really happy with, that runs our port, and they're doing that Plant C and that industrial work there in Ashtabula Township. They're just finishing that up. He's going through now and doing brownfield identification throughout the county, because before you can do anything with a brownfield, you have to identify it, you have to find out what's there, and he's doing that. He's sort of cataloging all of that. That's a huge job countywide. And so I think with both them and then with the help of Growth Partnership, I think that we will have a team that can really move Ashtabula County
Going in the right direction, it sounds to me. Before I let you go, Dan, I got to ask you, did you stay up and watch the Cavs last night?
I did. I watched every minute of it. I was heartbroken. I wish, LeBron would have made the shot that would have never put us into overtime.
Really?
And Kyrie wouldn't have been hurt.
But I do have to tell you, win or lose, they left it all out there.
Yeah.
And I guess that's all you have to ask.
And that's what he said, that's all I can promise you.
Yeah.
We'll give it our best.
Right.
And they did.
And I told my wife too, I said, you know what, even if they don't win, look at the entertainment they provided to the North Coast here.
And look at the challenges they've had. Would the series all be the same? If
Kevin Love
Kevin Love was there, if Kyrie was
healthy.
healthy, you know,
Right.
if the plan really would have worked the way they had started it out, you know, would we be sitting here talking about, you know, now LeBron, you know, now the other guys have to step up. Now, can they do that? That's going to be the
But
question.
it bodes well for the future, that's for
Oh,
sure.
absolutely, absolutely. I am really excited,
Yeah.
you know, about them.
You know,
We're getting into Brown season.
yeah, oh,
You know,
boy.
I don't
I
know
see
about
Johnny's
that,
still out there,
Yeah.
making a name for himself.
but- Yeah.
throwing water bottles. Hey, the thing that we have to say is, it might be a Cleveland market, but we're part of that market. And you know what?
We are.
People are involved, and it helps us here in Conneaut, all these 70 miles away. It helps us to have a winning team, and I think
sure.
if we can make this a winning team, the Cavs being the first championship in 51 years, it would do us all well. I think it's good.
Absolutely.
And Dan's like me. We've waited a long time for this to happen.
Sure have.
Steve,
Sure
same.
have.
But and I guess the Indians won last night. I did
Yes.
not know that.
Yeah. So they're moving up too, so
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
going to be an interesting summer here.
Yeah. Like Dan said, it's a positive thing. Let's enjoy it.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Well, it
That's
happens.
what we have to
That's-
do.
That's true.
Dan, always welcome. I'm glad to have you on here, and you're welcome back as soon as maybe next month, if you could, after the
Thank you.
holiday. Come on back and give us updates, because you have a ton of things that are going on with the county. You know.
They all seem to be good right now, so
That's a
trying
good
to,
thing.
yeah, we're trying to keep them rolling, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we
And,
want.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're
You
moving
didn't-
ahead.
You didn't get any complaints today either.
No, we're taking some calls. I love taking calls. So
Dan, have a great weekend.
thank you.
And if I don't see you, a great holiday as well coming
You
up.
too. Thank you so much for letting
All
me
right.
come.